Hi, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I decided to eat a cookie right when we went live.
You decided to eat a cookie right as we went live?
Yep.
That is incredible.
Classic.
Classic.
I can't help it. It's one of these, what are they called? They're like caramel coconut Girl Scout cookies.
Are you referring to a Samoa?
Yeah, but I don't buy Samoas. I buy the cheap brand.
Oh. It's like the ones on like Walmart and stuff.
Yo, Sass, you said ain't late. You're right, but it's almost 9 o'clock. Hey, you like my hat, Jamie?
I do love your hat.
All right. Well, still 9 ain't late either. Well, maybe for you, but I'm an old man.
Yeah, I'm also an old man. Holy moly. There were like just 7 picks, just bang, 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 bang. Everyone's just trying to get this over with now.
Oh, my hat? This is a Zachariah the Beast. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated.
I didn't even see that.
You didn't see that? Well, if you look,
No.
It was from yesterday, but I replayed it so we can give him some love.
Oh, okay.
Because we weren't here yesterday. Yes, my hat is from the Warrior Dash. So it's a hat that my wife and I got from participating in the Warrior Dash. If you don't know what the Warrior Dash is, suck it.
Does that mean you ran for fun?
Well, you see, it doesn't exist anymore. I enjoyed it because it was a 5K, but it had like 13 obstacle courses thrown in the middle of it. So it was really, really fun. Hydrate. The best part of waking up is water in your cup. Yes, it was a lot of fun. We had to climb walls and swim under barrels and dredge through mud, and it was actually, and jump over fire. Jump over fire.
Goddamn, jumping through that fire.
Yep, jumping over that fire right there. You done got our picture taken when we done jumped over the fire.
I drafted Jordan Love, and everybody is losing their minds right now.
Because he sucks.
No, he doesn't. He's the best quarterback in the league, taking us all the way, baby.
You're disgracing that hat.
This hat?
Yeah.
No, the Packers franchise have disgraced this hat for the past 18 years. They have wasted Aaron Rodgers, and I like, this hat should be ripped in half and glued to my body or something, because it is a fucking miracle that I'm still here. Dude, we have literally made it just not far enough for 18 years.
Except for that, one time.
Yeah, 2011, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was 2011.
Yep.
Holy shit. Man,
I watched the video the other day, and
congratulations.
It was very heartbreaking.
Anyway, better. We're not here to talk about footballs.
What are we here to talk about? Tell the people.
Why don't you tell them, because you're the one that's going to be talking mostly.
I think we're gonna chat about Starfield and the good about it, the bad about it,
and the ugly.
The ugly's on the right side of my screen over here. So, well,
let me switch it real quick. Anyway, yes, we're going to talk about Starfield. And you got to play it. I didn't get to play it. You got to play it. I am anticipating playing it here in a couple days with the rest of us common folk. But when you only have one code, you only get one person to play it. And since you are amped to play it, figured you'd run the show. I'd
Yeah,
rather
so
Starship Troopers, that
I don't
overrated
know.
movie.
I don't know what that is. Like I've heard of it. Like I've heard the name and everything, but I don't know like what it's about or anything like that.
All you need to know about it is starships are meant to fly. Reach up,
Starships are meant to fly. That song?
reach up, and touch the sky. Oh, you're dead to me, Jamie. That's what Jay Bartell said.
You are dead to me, Jamie.
Jamie.
Jamie. All right, I'm taking this off. It's weighing my head down. Yeah. So,
Get out of the way.
yeah, game. Should I just tell him like what I think of it? Um,
Well,
it's
first explain what it is and how it's going to
so
be awesome.
Starfield is the newest intellectual property from the game studios that we all love at Bethesda. And give me uno minuto, whatever, dude. Who's this guy drafted? All right, I can turn this off now. All right, cool. So, it's the newest RPG in and for Bethesda, and it's basically Skyrim in space, but you're part of this organization called Constellation, which I'm not going to spoil anything, but that's been all over the stuff, all over the marketing material for it. It's an organization called Constellation. They're like the last explorers. They make a lot of great games. They yeah, their most notable is probably Skyrim, but my favorite is definitely Morrowind. I played the heck out of that game when it first came out, and that
Why
game
are
was like
you,
as old as me.
Jay Bartell? Why? Jesus, that's
But
crazy. Why are you angry with
basically,
Bethesda?
Constellation is they're like the last of the great space explorers. Sorry, I'm scatterbrained right now, and they're still trying to figure out like all the secrets of space and stuff like that. And then they choose to delete your entire save data for Doom. I'm
I,
sure they didn't do that on purpose.
your
Um, but I mean, at its core, it's kind of basically just Skyrim in space. You're just flying around in different planets and collecting resources and upgrading your ship and doing quests and everything like that. And I don't really know how to like talk about the story without spoiling anything because it is kind of a um it goes off the deep end real quick, and it's really funny because the beginning of the game doesn't make any sense. It's like basically you're on this planet and then a spaceship shows up and it's like, come on, dude, we're exploring space. And it's just like, okay.
to
But
infinity.
I mean the game does have I can't hear you if you're talking.
Am I muted? Was I muted that whole time?
That whole time, yeah.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay.
I just spilled water all over my mat. That's awesome. It's okay. We
I
don't
mean,
have to.
at least he was muted in Discord. I'm sorry.
True.
But yeah. But yeah, you're just like exploring the space, trying to unlock the mysteries of space, and there's actually a lot of religious intrigue in this game, which I kind of like. It's kind of the thing I'm diving the most deep into right now because the way they handle religion and stuff like that.
Is it a game that you have to know anything previously, or is this like game one, ground zero?
Yeah, this is a completely new intellectual property. It has,
Hey,
as
yo.
far as I know, I mean, unless somehow they're gonna wrap this all the way back to Tamriel, but I doubt it. Not in any of the story that I played. But yeah, you don't need to know anything about Bethesda's prior games to play this game. It is completely new. It's actually their first new franchise in like 25 years, I think.
Is it a game that you're going to have to read a bunch to understand what's going on, or read a bunch to even have fun playing the game?
No, but it does enhance your experience a lot. Like, but I like that kind of stuff. I pick up every book and I'm like sitting there reading them and doing all sorts of stupid stuff. Um,
Lore.
But yeah, no, I really do enjoy the lore building and stuff like that. Right now, it's kind of it's a little overwhelming at the beginning because you're just bouncing planet to planet, like learning all sorts of new things. And so I'm a nerd and I write stuff down when I play video games. So I have like half a notebook full of crap trying to, and like mainly it's
Nerd
just like,
alert.
I know mainly the things I write down are like this city has these vendors and these vendors sell this thing. Um is essentially evil data. Why does it have to be evil?
Lore is the reason why I love World of Warcraft so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lore in World of Warcraft is insane.
I'm sure it is. That's a game I wish I would have got into. Um, but yeah, Starfield. It's just I mean, the shooting is really good. Let's talk about the gameplay real quick. So like, this is probably Bethesda's most polished game gameplay wise. Like, it's still got the Bethesda jank. It's like stuff will be phasing through walls. They're it's not glitch free. But they've kind of embraced that and they're like, hey, like when you're pushing the boundaries of technical limitations, like stuff breaks. And that's okay to an extent, but at some point it just becomes an excuse, you know?
Right, right.
Um, but in this case, I'll let it slide because it is a brand new game, and this is actually their first game on the Creation. I think it's the Creation 3 engine, which is their brand new engine, and it's going to be the one that welcome to the loyal water buffaloes.
That's an old. Hold on, hold on. We got to take a timeout. Timeout. Do you have Jamie? Do you have any idea
Nope.
what the Loyal Order of the Water Buffaloes is? That reference is way too old. Actually, I'm not going to tell you. I want you to Google it real quick, just because
What am I
I
Googling?
want to see. I want to see the look on your face as
What
you
am I Googling?
discover the Loyal Order of the Water Buffaloes. That is correct. Tears of the Kingdom lets
What
you do a
the
fuck. Yes,
Is this the
that.
Flintstones thing?
Yes, it is a Flintstones thing.
Why?
Because we're old ass people, bro.
Why? Hang
White
on, there's a video of these people walking around.
White Knight is just a little. I think he's just a little older than I am. So yeah, two old
That's
ass people talking
hilarious.
about the Loyal Order of the Water Buffalo. You're so young. You're so young and uncultured. Yes, Tears of the Kingdom lets you do a fuck ton of stuff without glitching. That is correct. A few months. Also, Tears of the Kingdom lets you do a fuck ton of stuff with glitching.
Yeah. Like dirty duping.
Who does that?
You do. You're literally a dirty duper.
You can't prove it. Video or
I
there's no proof.
I can probably find something somewhere.
Well, being that I titled one of our videos, I'm a dirty duper. So my next one of my questions is, am I going to be able to find a bug that lets me have infinite money?
No, but it's Bethesda. Well, I can't say no because I don't really look that stuff up. But I mean, there are console commands, and you go in and add as much money or as many materials or as many whatever you want.
God
It's a
mode,
Bethesda
baby.
game. What's that?
God mode.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of them. It disables achievements, but I'm not sure how I feel about that. I
Oh,
I don't know if you can fish in this game. I have not encountered it.
can I fish or can I catfish?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, technically you can. There's this vendor in the game, and they're basically a plastic surgeon. You can change literally everything about your character, even like down to your name. So Kinda. You could catfish somebody in the game.
What system are you playing on? White Knight says.
I'm playing on PC, but it's not going to be on any of the PlayStation consoles, and
As it shouldn't be. Suck at
as it shouldn't.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that's right. Suck at PlayStation. Just kidding. Um, I don't agree with that, but he definitely does. But it does. It does. I have talked to people who have played it on the Xbox Series X and the Series S, and it is perfectly buttery smooth. It is locked at 30 frames a second on console though.
It's locked at what?
30 frames per second.
Shit! Jay Bonatello coming in
Whoa!
huge! Huge! Wait for it.
Huge. I'm waiting.
Bartel11 just gifted 5 subs.
Hey, yo! 5 subs in the chat. Alex, a bish in her ball in her brawl. Black
Those
Rose.
are the people we rated the other day.
Peru, they're pretty awesome. If you haven't checked them out yet, they do a co-stream like we do, except they're married and we're not.
Well, we could be.
Well, I mean, we could be, I guess technically. Nice, congrats. Anyway, if you, all my kids just got home. If you received a gifted sub, remember to say thank you to everybody in the chat.
Thank you, chat.
Not everybody in the chat. The person that gifted, the community. I got sidetracked. Everybody walked in. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, imagine not being subbed and being on an ad break right now.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Anyway, you were saying?
I'm not sure if it's on Xbox One. Actually, I'll look that up. Xbox One.
Is it on Xbox One? I don't think so. I think it's just S and X.
I'm looking it up right now.
Doo, doo.
It is technically, but it's through cloud streaming with
Ooh.
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
All right, you talk for a second. I need to go do something right quick.
Okay. But yeah, so Bethesda, like I said, it's your traditional like RPG. So you start on place and then you go do a bunch of things, but you can level up like a bunch of skills, and the skill tree is actually really in depth. And then the class you choose, not really the class, but the I forget what they call them in this game. Hang on, I'll just bring it up right now. Give me 1 second. So there are attribute points, and they're basically so I chose oh god, Chris's face. So I chose the I forget which one it is, but basically your parents are still alive, and so it gives you a what?
I was making fun of you. I'm sorry. Please continue.
You're a piece of shit. You know I get sidetracked really easily.
I know you do, buddy.
All right. I don't know why you do these things to me. It's
Do
not
the
cool.
things you do. Well, then I'll have to see my shitty graphics card can handle it. True.
Yeah, I am not sure. But yeah, I chose kid stuff, which your parents are alive and well, and but you have to send 2% of all your credits home every week, and that just depends on how much money you have. But you also have like a place to go. It's like a player home, and you can go and store stuff. And then I chose empath because I always plays the good guy. So basically, when you perform actions that Christopher, fuck off. But I'm leaving, dude. I'm getting out of here.
Dude, it's
But-
past my bedtime. I'm getting slap happy.
But when you do actions that your party members like, you get a I did it to myself, son of a bitch. But yeah, when you perform actions, your companion likes it will result in like a temporary increase to your combat effectiveness. And then I also chose Dream Home, which basically just gave me another player home, but I have to pay a mortgage on it. But then there's other things like Adoring Fan. And do you remember the Adoring Fan from Oblivion? He would like run up to you and he would like freak out. He was like your biggest fan in the game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's basically the same character, same voice actor and everything. And he'll just randomly come and find you and everything. And he'll be like freaking out. He'll be like, "Can I have your autograph?" And you can have him join your crew if you want, stuff like that. Ugh. But apparently there are 1,000 planets in the game, but
Oh,
only
can you
100. But only
can you conquer them?
you can put outposts down on them and collect their resources.
They just spilled a bunch of water down the front of me. As you can't take me anywhere.
Well, good
Definitely,
thing you're not going.
let's not clip any of that. This
I think we
drumming
should.
guy sucks.
I have the hiccups now.
Oh, good thing you're the one talking. Did anyone else hear that feedback?
No, I did not hear anything, but I also have the stream muted. So
Was it very quick? If it was, it's because I pulled up the stream and then had to mute it really quick. So yes, that did happen. Thanks for pointing it out. Don't just sit there, Jamie. Talk about it.
I'm just waiting for you to shut the fuck up. Oh man. But I think my favorite part of the game so far is the shipbuilding mechanic. And I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but you can buy they give you a ship like right at the beginning of the game, and it's just like the base ship, and you can use that gun, or not that gun, but you can use that ship all the way through the game if you really want to. But then you can also go to the ship services technicians at any, well, I don't know about any, but at the major planets, and you can upgrade your ship. You can just like upgrade the parts you already have, and they'll be more efficient, stuff like that. Or you can go into the shipbuilder, and you can basically destroy your entire ship, and then you can rebuild it. And it's very in depth. So you need, I think there's like 11 parts that you absolutely need. Yeah, shameless plug, Dad and Company, right behind him. He's flipping me off, and I don't appreciate that. Uh, but basically, you can start with nothing. So then you'll like take your cockpit and you'll take your crew habitats, and then you'll plug them together with your thrusters and your landing gear and your cargo bays and stuff like that, and build your own ship. And you can make some monstrosities in the game, or you can make this real sleek looking ship, and you can make them not as big or as small as you want to. They all have to have like the vital parts, but you can make some pretty quick and nimble ships. And the best ship that I've created so far, it looks like the Tantive 4 from Star Wars. It's just got a bunch of engines on the back, and then it's just this long, skinny thing with a cockpit at the front of it, and it just holds a bunch of shit. It's like my barge. That's because I'm a loot whore, so I'm just going to all these planets and picking up literally everything. So that's what I wanted the most. This is probably Bethesda's least buggy game ever.
Oh,
It's
that's an accomplishment.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted though. There are still a lot of bugs in this game. They're just not as prevalent, and it is a big game, so like there's gonna be bugs. There's there's never gonna be a game from here until the end of the world from now on it's gonna have no bugs in it.
Especially this
Right?
size.
Oh my god, it's huge. But yeah, back to the 1,000 planet things. Only 100 of them are like curated by the development team. The rest of them are just procedurally downloaded, and they're pretty varied. So some they'll be covered in oceans, and you also can't like fly around them completely. Like a lot of people are kind of comparing it to No Man's Sky. I don't know if you've ever played No Man's Sky.
What's up, Ellie? Yes, top 10 lists all day. Yes,
Yeah.
I loot everything in every game that I play. So
Have
I'm
you played
definitely
No
gonna.
Man's Sky though?
No, I have not. What
No.
is that like?
So it's another space game. Um and I'm trying to describe it. So basically it's just yeah, it's a space game and you can like create your own ship and stuff like that. And you fly around, you get materials and you go and do space activities. I didn't put much time in it. But the planets when you go to planets in that game, they're all procedurally downloaded or generated, sorry. And but you can fly into the completed, unlike Star Citizen. Star Citizen's a great game. We could talk about that later, though. But basically, the planets you can fly into the atmosphere and you can land anywhere on them. For this game, there are only specific places that you can land, so you can't just fly anywhere you want on the planet. But there are curated areas now. The like the procedure of down or generated worlds, you can basically ping a spot on it, and that's where you'll land but then it creates the terrain around you and you can't fly all the way around it or anything like that. Which is kind of lame, but all the worlds are varied. I mean, some of them are just full of minerals and stuff like that, but it's like a barren wasteland. And then others they're like lush and they have like alien wildlife and stuff like that. But so I don't know, that was a little disappointing to me. I wanted a little more freedom on the planets, even if they are all procedurally generated. But the curated world, so New Atlantis is the main hub, it's the biggest city. Um, it is really well done. A lot of the um like environments look similar throughout. Like there's like three different districts and they all kind of look the same because so that was kind of a little disappointing, I guess. Um, I say a lot because of you. You did this to me.
Um, no, I didn't.
Um, yeah, huh, because you pointed it out, and then I did it sarcastically like 10 times in a row, and then
I
now
didn't
I'm
make you
now
do it. I made you notice that you do it.
yeah, I know, other mucker.
Oh, hey everybody, we are 16 subs away from our sub goal of 65. When we hit 65, we're going to try and up that to 75. So, if you have Amazon Prime or know anybody that has Amazon Prime, feel free to link your Twitch gaming to your Amazon or to your Twitch, your Prime Gaming to your Twitch account, and then you can sub to your favorite streamer for free every 30 days. If that favorite streamer happens to be us, we appreciate the help. So, if you don't have Amazon Prime, you can sub normally. We also have a donations tab on our homepage, so you can check out any of that. We're also at 69 followers. Nice.
Nice, nice.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Ba-dum-bum.
This wasn't regularly scheduled though, because we are late.
No. It was regularly scheduled. You just had shit you were doing.
That's true. I was doing
Favorite
something
is
very. I
that's
was doing something
that's
very important.
that's true, White Knight.
Hey, we didn't say that your favorite had to be us. We just said that you should use it on your favorite streamer. All right.
And if that favorite streamer happens to be us, or if we are maybe if we're your favorite streamer because we're the only streamers you watch, that's fine also.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what do you want to know about the game?
Well, that I pretty much asked my questions. I just wanted to know if there was fishing. I wanted to know if you had to do the like what are the benefits of upgrading your ship?
Uh, so, I mean, it can be anything from more shields, that goes faster. Your grav drive will take you further, so you don't have to. Let's say you're jumping like clear across the galaxy or whatever. You don't have to stop in a major city to get supplies. You can just keep going.
So
And then
I missed
go
the
ahead.
answer to the fishing question.
There is no fishing in the game.
Um, you said shields.
Yeah.
Do you have to fight like other
Y-
players?
Not other players. It is
Oh,
a fully single player game, but there are other factions in the game, just like any RPG. So the two main factions are the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective, and they're just I don't know how to think of it. They're just two big factions, and neither of them. It's kind of like the Stormcloaks and the Empire. There's not a clear like who's the bad guy. At least for me, I didn't really think of them that way. But I can't really tell who should be the big bad. It's just there is a pirate faction called the oh hell
called the
the
old Hales.
no it's the Crimson Fleet. Sorry, I wanted to say Crimson Dawn because I watched Red Dawn the other day, but that's not
Crimson
it.
Chin.
No, from Cincinnati.
How much adult content is there? Can you do adult content in space? NASA is asking this question.
You, I mean, you can romance characters, but it's sort of implied, you know?
Oh, that's bullshit. They need to get with Larry on.
I don't, oh yeah, Larian Studios. Yeah, there's been a lot of comparisons to that game and this game, and
Like
some,
positively?
no, a lot of negative. And so, but it kind of comes down to Larian being like masters of their own craft. Because in that game, like the persuasion is basically it's just really well done. Like conversations flow really well in that game. But in this game, the persuasion, there's you do a persuasion check, and then there's options, and each option there's like two safe options which give you 1 point. You need oh I don't know how many points now, but anyway, you need a certain amount of points to succeed in your persuasion, right? And there's two safe options, and then there's like a medium option, and there's like an option that'll give you the most points. It'll be an instant win, but it's harder to get. And the conversations you have are kind of weird. So, for instance, I had one, and I was basically coming into this city, but I needed to have some sort of passport. It wasn't called that, but that's basically what it was because I wasn't a citizen in this part of space, so I needed certain papers. And I, at this point, I was a smuggler, and I showed up, and she's like, "Hey, I need to see your papers," and I was like, and it felt like a Jedi mind trick because I was like, "You don't need to see my papers," and she's like, "Oh, maybe I don't need to see your papers," and I was like, "Ah, that felt weird." But and then the comparisons to Baldur's Gate, it's like the characters remember what you said to them and stuff like that. Like you would walk into for like the Emerald Grove, if you went in there and like punched the little kid or something like that, like those tieflings would remember when you were later on in the game, and then they would bring that up, or they wouldn't sell to you or stuff like that. In this game, I feel like I could go and murder an entire city and come back the next day, and they'd be like, "Welcome to the gun shop. What can I do for you?" You know?
Hi, I'm Tom.
Yeah. So that's kind of the bad comparisons that they've had, but they are kind of two different games. But I think I hope that it serves a purpose to the not just to this game, but to like the entire video game industry. That like that's how you do RPGs from now on. Because Larian like knocked it out of the park. Like they were writing in
True.
that game. There's been a lot of I mean, I'm sure you've seen the backlash. Like everyone's like, well, Baldur's Gate is kind of an anomaly, and you can't expect all video game developers to blah 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 to do that. And that's coming from developers, and I think it should be the opposite. Like those developers should be striving to meet that level. Like it should be an inspiration to them. Like, oh wow, it can be done. Like this is how good their writing studio is. Because that game sucked you in, and this it sucked me in. But some of the conversations were a little iffy. Like you'd be talking to people, and then sometimes the thing they would say just wouldn't make any sense. But that's kind of the charm of Bethesda too, though. A lot of their conversations are a little janky and a lot of the gameplay is a little janky. But this game's gameplay is amazing. Like it feels, it really does feel modern. Like the gameplay, like when you go back and play Skyrim, I love that game to death, but I can only play it for so long because it just feels choppy and slow. And granted, it is an 11-year-old game, 12-year-old game now. What are you laughing at?
I'm just talking with chat.
Oh, okay, I got you. But yeah, I mean it's a great game. I don't think it's amazing. I don't know. I don't think that it's gonna win Game of the Year if that's where you want to go.
Do you think that Baldur's Gate is going to push for Game of the Year? Or do you still think Tears of the Kingdom is going to clean sweep it? I think Tears of the Kingdom is probably going to sweep it still. Yes.
I think
Ellie, I agree.
I think for the accessibility of Tears of the Kingdom, it really has a really big head start because that game is just easier to play. Because a lot of people like me, they don't like turn-based games, and I mean, not this game, but Baldur's Gate 3 was really my first. Yeah, it was definitely my first. Besides, like JRPGs with like Pokemon and stuff like that, like it's the first turn-based game that I've actually played and enjoyed. And I've tried playing the Final Fantasy games because I want to experience that. I want to have those experiences because I hear they're great games. I just can't get into them because of the combat and stuff like that. But I feel like the combat in Baldur's Gate flows better the more you play.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And it really did take. I think a lot of players are going to start playing CRPGs now because of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I hope so because I
But
enjoy them.
I think Baldur's Gate is going to be an honorable mention at the Game Awards. I think they're going to be like, oh yeah, and nominated for Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate. But I don't think it'll win now. I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to knock it out of the park. Obviously,
I agree. I agree. Fully agree.
but this is, I guess with all that being said, I want to say something a little drastic. I think this is Xbox's best first party game ever.
Wow.
Despite all my criticisms. And Halo is the first game I ever played, and I played Halo 2 and Halo 3 is like really when I got into multiplayer and started playing with all my buddies online, and we would go and we kind of just we would just play all night every day, and it's just I think that this is probably the game that you should play if you have an Xbox console because one, you don't if you have the Xbox and you're not paying for Game Pass, one,
You doing?
what are you doing? Is this game is going to be on there, and so are all their first party games, and it's going to be on Game Pass for no extra charge. So you pay the $15 a month or whatever it is. I don't know how much it is anymore, but however much it is, you have access to over 500 games. One of them is Starfield. Then you got Halo, Gears of War, all sorts of games. I mean, it's crazy. But
Crazy?
I was crazy once. But yeah, I think this is probably Xbox's biggest game now, and will be until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. And then I think that game is going to just, and in a lot of ways, I think this game is like a trial run for Elder Scrolls 6 because this is Bethesda's first game on their new engine, the Creation 3 engine or Creation 2. I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's a Creation something engine. So I think they're gonna work out a lot of the bugs and a lot of the kinks and like really optimize that engine so that they can go back to what they do best. I mean, you gotta remember this is new territory for them. They've never done a space RPG. Sure, they've done like RPGs and stuff like that, but never on this scale, and two, never in this setting. So like they were kind of out of their element, and that's the only way that you grow as a let's go, Drawman.
Draman 314 just gifted 5 subs.
Did you hear the Draman 314?
Draman 314. That was funny. Thank you for the 5 gifted.
Trying to get
Yeah.
back. Just trying to get back to the community.
Give back. Are you trying to say that you're Draman?
Nope.
Well, thank you, Draman, for the 5 gifted subs. I forget what I was saying. Oh, yeah, I think I don't know. I think that this is just sort of a trial run for Elder Scrolls 6, and I think when that game comes out, they're going to absolutely just take the world by storm with that game because
Oh yeah,
this
Elder. Yeah, it's
this
going to be a huge game.
and that's another thing that's kind of weird in this game. There is melee combat, but there's a huge focus on shooting, and the melee combat in this game is not that great. So
Really?
I'm really interested. Yeah, and it's gonna be and granted, I mean, like a bunch of games are created in the same engine, and then mechanics work completely different in every game. But it is kind of weird. It's not bad. I mean, it's serviceable, but it's just not the focus. And I don't know if it's not great or if they made the melee weapons not good because they want you to shoot guns, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. I'm not. I prefer ranged combat in my games anyway. The only problem is it's a little more difficult because it's a one-player game, so it's harder to pull off. Like
Yeah.
if you go into an encampment with 10 bad guys, you can't snipe them all.
I mean, I don't think you're trying hard enough.
Or good enough. Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah.
It's a skill issue.
It probably is a skill issue. You're probably right.
Yeah, probably right. But I will definitely play the game, try it out. I don't know if it doesn't really tickle my fancy what I've been reading about it and what you've told me about it. It doesn't pique my interest. So, but I'll try it out. I'll give it a fair shake.
Yeah, and like I mean, it's a solid 7.5. Like, and I mean that. I know that sounds bad, but I do mean that in the best way that I can say. Like, it is very fun. It does have a lot of depth. The lore is really great. I I I think what's holding it back is how long it takes for it to get started. Because the first like I don't know 8 or 10 hours were pretty slow.
Oh,
But and they were also throwing a lot of information at you, and they were doing a lot of world building, and you were talking to a lot of people, and
that's
it's
not
just
good for a game nowadays, though.
sure, but I think they do it in the best way that they could have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But
I don't
and
know. 8 to 10 hours, like that is a lot for an introduction.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is like one of the greatest games that I've ever played, and the beginning of that game was a trudge.
Yikes!
You were in the mountains for like 3 hours, and then getting around Valentine it seemed like it took forever too. And it's one of the that's a great game.
I mean, I say that, but if you go back to Vanilla WoW, traversing Azeroth in Vanilla WoW when you were like level 1 through 10 took a fucking lifetime because you literally had to run everywhere. And if you strayed away from the path at all, a crocodile kill you easily. Like,
Yeah.
so, and I fell in love with that game. So I guess if there's fishing in it, I will.
There's not fishing in it. We've already talked about that.
Yeah, I know, but if I ask enough, maybe there will be in the next patch.
I mean, maybe.
I want to catch some space fish. You don't want to catch space fish?
I mean, not really. Fishing is not my favorite mechanic in video games like yours.
Fair enough. I am thoroughly enjoying fishing in Palia.
Yeah, Paleo's fishing actually is pretty fun.
Yep, I do. I speaking of which, if we can get off subject for a moment. I need a bunch of flow lumber or whatever it's called.
Flow infused lumber.
And I don't know how to get it.
You
I
just walk around. There's gonna be purple wood.
Can't cut it
Mainly
down
you can't. Why not?
because I don't have a good enough axe.
You don't have a copper axe?
I have the second axe.
I chop them down with that axe all the time.
Oh. Oh well.
But also in that game, it's kind of you want to type in chat whenever you see them because they're randomly spawning. So you want to make sure as many people can.
You just run up to it, hit it once, and then
Yeah, and then I usually type in chat, like flow tree at the base of Choppa Crossing or whatever the hell.
Right.
I go on the map and look where I'm at, and then it's kind of funny when you say it, people just come running out of nowhere. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of down on Starfield, despite having a lot of fun with it. Though it's it's weird because a lot of the problems are pretty glaring, but I think uh, I think that most of it can be fixed with like patches and stuff like that. Like the inventory, I don't know if the inventory will ever get fixed because Bethesda just does bad inventories. They're just not they're just not good. But other stuff like the star map and then the surface maps, the star map's not terrible, but the surface maps they're not good like at all. That it's not, how when you like would go into like Whiterun for instance in Skyrim and it would show you where everything was.
Yeah.
It's basically just a bunch of markers and it's sort of just like figure it out, which I mean there's a little bit to say about that cuz the cities aren't terribly big and you should be able to, and there's a lot of signage everywhere, the buildings are pretty big, and so you should be able to get like find your way around. All the cities are different, so you're not going to be getting mixed up and stuff like that, but it would be nice if the surface map was better. There's also not a mini map, but that's kind of traditional for Bethesda games. There is
bad, man.
I know. You have a it's kind of like a watch, and it'll tell you what planet you're on. It'll tell you the temperature, how much O2 there is, what the gravity is there, and then it serves as like a compass. So if you're facing an objective, the objective like on your watch in the bottom left corner, it's basically a mini map without a map. It just has information on it, and then it's a circle dial that serves as a compass, and there's a little white dot, and that shows north. And then as you're looking at it, there's little markers around the outside of it, and then that's your like point of reference, which way to go,
So it's basically the same thing that Taylor did with the compass at the top. I hate that.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. I like the compass up top. If when I go to my main map, if there's like a land map and I can plot where I want to go from there.
True. Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of players are going to be there's there's already a bunch. IGN already has an interactive map, and it's like kind of what you want. It's like a traditional map, and it's got markers on it and stuff like that. But you basically have to use those points of reference and what the buildings look like to make your way. You can't actually just like select it on the thing and then go there on a map and like see it, you know? Like the maps are basically just they're kind of like a topographic map, just full of dots and then there's little markers all over the thing. But there's no I don't know how to explain it without like just showing somebody, but it's just not great.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to show you this on my phone.
Not gonna work.
I know. Hang on.
Oh, it worked.
Did it? I'm waiting for the
Yeah.
so this is not what it looks like. So that's Aquila City, which is one of the main cities in the game. This is what the map should look like, but it just looks like hang on, Starfield map.
Yo, the pre-install. I also have it pre-installed White Knight. And when does it come out? Wednesday or is it Tuesday? Tuesday?
That's
Oh,
what
that
the map
is
that's what the
terrible.
map looks like in game.
Oh God, that is awful.
Yeah. It I don't know. I don't know what their point was. Because I thought maybe it was you had to like scan the planet and you did a planetary scan and then it would map everything out for you. That's not the case. It just shows you what resources on the map. And it's just like, what? But I feel like the map is something that they will fix. Even if it's something like you go there's a shop in town or something like that, and it'll give you the GPS map for the planet, and you have to buy it or something like that for like 100 gold or 100 credits or whatever you want to call it. I would even be okay with that as long as they give me something, you know,
Right.
because this whole looking at dots thing is not it's not good, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like terrible.
Yeah, it's not great. It's probably its biggest problem. That and that I can't land in Ohio in the game.
That's funny.
Something that is kind of cool about the map, if you're looking, so if you're in a system, right, a star system, the map it shows the gravitational pull with like these lines. So think of like a topographic map, and it's got like the lines, and it shows you the altitude on mountainsides and stuff like that. The map shows like the gravitational pull and it's like warping time and space around it in the star map, and it's kind of cool to look at. And it does that for everything too. So you can like for instance, you can go to Earth in the game and you can see the gravitational pull it has on the moon, and it's kind of cool. I actually really do like that part.
That sound awesome. Oh
And
man.
then a bunch of different planets have like different moons surrounding them, and they have like the asteroid field. So like Saturn, how it has the rings around it, you can go and you can go to those asteroids and you can mine stuff like that. 6% installed, just in case you were wondering. Hell yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that it's not, a giant game.
Yeah, it's only 140 gigabytes, and then as soon as you install it, you'll have to install a 117 gigabyte update.
Now, is
Which then,
does that take the place of it, or
what do you
does
mean, the
that?
place of it?
So is that an additional 100 and some gigabytes? So it's like
No,
200. Oh, okay.
it actually optimizes a little bit and brings it down a little more.
Price. I was gonna say
I think all told it's like 125 after the update.
that is insane.
Yeah.
Cat's staring at me.
Meow. But yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about the game without really ruining any of the story. So
Yeah, we don't want to. We don't want to spoils. We don't want to spoils. But what we might do here is wrap this up and end this. And then I don't know what you're doing tonight, but I might stream a little bit.
What are you playing?
I don't know. I'll either play Paleo or uh, I don't have 200 gigabytes open. Yeah, that was my problem. I had to allocate it to a different drive. So, or I'll play Overwatch.
I mean, I will definitely be around. I'll probably be playing Starfield. But if you want to play Paley, I'm more than happy to just sit and talk to you.
Boop, boop. Yeah, because we know that I cannot hold a conversation and play Overwatch.
Yeah, we tried that earlier, and I was like, okay, gotta go. See you later.
Oh no, hold on. No, when you called me earlier, actually I do, but I would have to plug in my external hard drive. Yeah, that's fair enough. When you called me, I was at Subway earlier.
Well, you should have not done that.
What Subway?
Yeah, you should have. You should have been.
I've
You need to make yourself available to me at all times.
Fair enough. I would say the same to you about me.
I do. I do.
Don't. I will fucking fight you right now.
I am always available to you. I answer every single one of your phone calls and respond to your text messages immediately.
I am gonna fight you. I'm about to drive to your house and fight you.
I would tell you my address, but I don't want all of our hundreds of fans to.
You don't want to dox yourself?
Yeah, I don't want to dox myself.
Next thing that's happening is you're getting swatted.
It's okay. My building is it's controlled access, so they would have to find a way to open the outside door first, or break in through a window.
Are you talking about the SWAT team? Because I'm pretty sure they could get in.
Yeah, but it would be hard, and I would hear them coming, and then I would be like, "Wait a minute, this isn't my fault.
That's the
one
title.
of my fans
that should
hates
be the
me."
Title of your sex tape.
Of my what?
Sex tape. No. Never mind. The joke has passed. Anyway, so I am going to take a little bit of a break and then intentionally mirroring each other.
I was doing it first, to be fair, Jay Bartell. Can you gear me? No, because I don't know what that means. But I can hear you.
Yo, Cave Critter! How are you? Welcome to chat, bro. I believe that is my brother. So, just coming in hot.
What is happening right now?
Anyway, you got here just in time. No, we didn't talk about wearing blue shirts. You got here just in time because we're about to take a break. And then we're going to be streaming. Well, I'm going to stream a little bit, and then I think Jamie's going to stick around in Discord. So,
are you going to be here? Because if you're going to be here, I'm leaving.
Me? Why don't you fuck off?
Whoa!
AOE. Anyway, if you haven't yet, Cave Critter, make sure you hit that follow button. That helps us out. Are we just going to breeze by the fact that Cap just said language?
Language.
Starships are meant to fly. Socials. So, White Knight, I will text you. Nice. I will text you this week, and we'll figure out before you get here what we'll be recording. Hey, Jamie, if you're not doing anything this weekend, we're gonna be smoking some meats on the grill or on the new smoker. If you want to come down,
maybe.
All right, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
So, remember, chat, if you have not followed our socials yet, we have Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and hey, you're invited. And it's pretty much completely unrelated, 740, except for Twitter. Twitter is C unrelated 740, like the letter C. And the best place to get a hold of us and exchange conversations and things like that is on our Discord, which the link is up right there. So hit that Discord. There are a bunch of different channels. There's a self-promotion channel. There's all sorts of crazy things. So 12%. Whoa, you're getting there. Hey, you might be at 100% by the time it's ready to play. Don't take all your bandwidth, bro. Anyway, chat, we appreciate you sticking around. Shout out to Jay Bartel for the gifted subs today.
And Drummond.
And whoever that loser is. So we really appreciate the support. Remember, we're trying to hit 65 subs so we can up that goal to 75. If you do have Amazon Prime and you do subscribe with Amazon Prime, remember, it does not automatically renew your subscription. You have to actually go in there and renew it yourself. He's a water buffalo. So thank you for stopping by, chat. Jamie, thanks for carrying the Starfield commentary for us today. Appreciate it.
Yeehaw.
So I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. I'll come back and I'll start my stream again.
I'm never coming back.
Well,
just kidding.
That's
Boo on Bethesda. It's a good game. It's a great game. It's just not super great.
Is there anything else you wanted to say, Jamie?